I was working this independent show years ago, and I was asked to pick up Kevin Sullivan from the airport and take him with me to the hotel. I don't want to bother him, so I'm going to be very quiet and polite. I'm not going to annoy him with questions. I am only going to speak when spoken to. Luckily for me, Kevin Sullivan was very nice, and he was very cordial and very conversational. He wanted to know about me. He goes, "What's your name, young man?" And I give him my name. And he goes, "That's an Armenian name, isn't it?" I go, "Yes, sir. Yes, it is." He goes, "It's a real shame what happened to the Armenian people." And what he's referring to is the Armenian genocide, which took place between 1915 and 1917, when the Ottoman Empire, today known as the country of Turkey, tried to eradicate the entire race of Armenian people and succeeded in killing over 1 million Armenians, including my great-grandparents. And it's a very sad period of history for the Armenian people, of course, but not commonly known today unless you're like a big history buff. So I was kind of surprised that he even knew about it. But it was kind of cool. I found myself having a conversation about Armenian genocide with the taskmaster from WCW, the Booker man himself, Kevin Sullivan. And then at one point, he got kind of philosophical and a little bit emotional about the conversation. He goes, "War is such a terrible thing, to think why it had to happen, to think that for thousands of years, those people were able to live together side by side without a problem. There was no heat between the two." That's right. He used the word heat to describe mass genocide. Also, I'm not quite sure why my Kevin Sullivan impression sounds like Larry King, but there you go.
No, I like your impression. I think we all understood exactly who it was. And that's what wrestlers do. That's how our brain works. I know that was the icing on the cake of the story, is that he's using wrestling terms. Turkey got a false finish, or the Armenians were getting sympathy for the hot tag, or whatever vocabulary he was using at the time. But that's sometimes how it works. I try to stay away from it as much as possible because I realize from the outside view how ridiculous it is when I'm with my wrestling friends and they're maybe with my non-wrestling friends and they're saying gimmick and kayfabe, and I'm like, stop it. But if you're in it long enough, you're in it deep enough, sometimes it's just part of your regular vocabulary. Thank you very much for the call. I didn't think we were going to get educated today on Wrestling Anonymous. I'm very appreciative of that. I'm grateful it comes not only from this caller, but also from Kevin Sullivan. Also, what I say to myself is, why aren't they teaching this stuff in school? I said the same thing about Black Lives Matter. And by saying it, I mean, I just thought it to myself. Then I go and I do my own research and I learned about Tulsa and just other points of stuff that just was not taught to us in school. And I'm like, why don't I know about this genocide? Especially as a Jewish kid who was taught about the Holocaust in summer school. Why don't I know about this? Come on, American education. You can do better. If only Kevin Sullivan was everybody's 4th grade social studies teacher, we would come out a little more empathetic, a little more understanding of everybody's side, and a little more vulnerable to using wrestling terms to describe our past. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.